Hello baseball fans, this is Anthony with BBSN and we are here for some Saturday night baseball. Back to our 1969 Payoff Pitch Cubbies replay, and tonight I think I mentioned earlier in the chat that it was Pirates Cubs, but that was only a 2-game set, so the Cardinals are actually into Wrigley now for a series with the Cubbies, who are back home. And currently in our replay, things look in art as they did in life. Coming into this game, in real life, the Cubbies were 11-4. In the replay, they are 11-4. And in this particular game, played on 4/24/69, the Cardinals came away a 3-2 victor. Dave Justy getting the win over Ken Holtzman, both 2-1 after this contest. And you can see these starting lineups here. Very familiar to those who were fans of baseball in 1969. I was 6 then and just discovering the game, but again, many of these names played into the 70s. So for the Cardinals, leading off will be Lou Brock in left field. Julian Javier at second base hits second. Curt Flood, the catalyst for modern free agency, hits third. And Joe Torre will be at first base hitting fourth. Mike Shannon will be at third base hitting fifth. Tim McCarver, who later found love under a bucket of Gatorade with Deion Sanders, and I'm sure they still send each other Christmas presents. He is catching tonight and hitting sixth. Vada Pinson in right field will bat seventh. Dal Maxville will play short and hit eighth, and Dave Justy on the mound for the Cards. For the hometown Cubbies, the usual lineup: Don Kessinger leading off at shortstop. Glenn Beckert at second base. Sweet swinging Billy Williams hits third, will be in left field. Ernie Banks hitting in the cleanup spot in place of the injured Ron Santo will be at first base. Randy Hundley behind the dish will bat fifth. Al Spanky Spangler out in right field hits sixth. Don Young back in center field tonight hits seventh. And Paul Popovich filling in for Santo at third base hits eighth. And on the mound, as indicated in batting ninth, Kenny Holtzman. So with that, we are ready to go. And again, with my new tripod, able to get a little bit wider, and hopefully these cards show up okay. It seemed to be fine with Strat, so we will stay with this and should make transition between innings just a little bit quicker. But we are ready to go, and Holtzman is on the mound, Lou Brock is in the box, and our first pitch of the game. And I am missing a dice. Look at me. 7 is going to be in play, and that's going to be a fly out to right field for Brock to start it off for the Cardinals. 1 down. Julian Javier up now. The pitch from Holtzman, and that is a 5, which is patient, and 79. Patient's going to be out of range against the lefty, and that will be a fly out to center field. So 2 up, 2 down for Holtzman. And we'll see if this shapes up to be a pitcher's duel as it was in real life. Next up, Curt Flood. The pitch from Holtzman is a tough, and 34 against the lefty. And that's going to be a single for Flood. And Curt Flood is a 4. We'll see if he tries to go. He does not. So Flood on at first base, and we have our first hit of the ball game. And that brings up future Yankee manager Joe Torre. And the pitch from Holtzman, 8's going to be tough, and 95 will be a fly out to left field. So the Cardinals started off with a hit, but they can't do anything with that, and we head to the bottom of the first inning with no score. Dave Justy is on the mound now for the visiting Cards. Don Kessinger steps in for the Cubbies. And the pitch from Justy, and 5 is going to be patient. And that is going to be a fly out to center field to start it off for the Cubs. 1 down. Glenn Beckert steps in. And Beck having a good year thus far. I am left-handed, and I can't for the life of me shake dice with my right hand. It's crazy. 6 is going to be tough, and 89, that is going to be out of range against the right-hander. And that will be a ground ball down to shortstop. So 6-3 on the put out there. Beckert goes down. And sweet swinging Billy Williams steps up. And the pitch from Justy, 7 is going to be in play, and that's a 6, and Williams is going to do something with that against the right-hander. He's going to drive that into the gap, and that is a double. So the Cubbies, 2 outs, runner in scoring position, and Mr. Cub himself, Ernie Banks, steps in with a chance to give his team an early lead here. The pitch from Justy, and 6 is going to be tough, 70. That'll be out of range, though, and a ground ball down to second base. So the Cubs, they can't do anything with a 2-out double, and we head to the top of the second inning, and we are still tied 0-0. Up for the Cards is Mike Shannon. Holtzman kicks, delivers, tough, and 17, and you know what that's going to be? Struck him out. Ring him up, Kenny, 1 down. Tim McCarver as Holtzman, the wicked slider there. McCarver trying to get on base now, and 12. That's going to be a wheelhouse, and McCarver, 38. He's going to get that into a hard hit single into right field. So he had a nice fat pitch, couldn't take it yard, but deposits that into the outfield, and the Cardinals have a 1-out base runner. McCarver, he is a 4, not a very good base stealer. He's going to try and go, though. And he is a D. Behind the plate, Hundley has an arm of 2. So 2D, this is not going to probably end well. He needs to roll 85 to 99 to be safe. So here he goes, lumbering down, timing him with a sundial, and he's going to get gunned down by Hundley. So McCarver, a poor base running decision there. 2 down, Vada Pinson steps in, and that's patient. And 46, that's going to be a single for Pinson. So that debacle of McCarver trying to steal second looms large now. They could have had runners at the corners. Instead, there's 2 outs, runner at first, and Pinson, also not a base runner. He's going to wisely stay put. Down Maxwell, shortstop, steps in. And 11, that's going to be ballpark. And 66, against the left-handed pitcher, that's going to be in play. And 76 will be a fly out to center field. So the Cards get a couple of hits, but it's some poor base running. Runs them out of the inning. We head to the bottom of the second, still tied at 0-0. Randy Hundley leading off for the Cubbies. And 6, that's going to be tough. And 53, single, and Hundley fights off a tough breaking ball to loop that into the outfield. So Cubbies have a base runner, and Hundley, he is a 3 to try and steal. Not going to happen. Al Spangler up. Justy sets, delivers. And 9, that's going to be patient against the right-hander. Spangler draws a base on balls. So Cubbies are in business here in the bottom of the second. Nobody out, 2 on. And a timeout. Some poor managing by me. I did not replace Adolfo Phillips, who played center in the last game. That is my 1 error for the game. I have 1 every game. Here we go. Justy against Young. And 12, that's going to be in play. Boy, that would have been nice in the wheelhouse. It was not, but that's still going to be a single. So first and second, we go to the fast action cards. And a single there. Get my bearings here. A single will be in advance of 1 base. So station to station. And I apologize, I'm looking in the wrong place. I haven't played Payoff Pitch in a week, already forgetting stuff. So long single into the gap. Runner on first advances 1 base, runner on second advances 1 base, and can score on coach's decision. So Hundley is a 7. And out in center field, Flood has an 8. So we are going to give that a shot. Here we go, 7 or less, and he comes around to score. So Spangler stops at 7. Cubbies, or second, Cubbies are on the board. As Don Young, back in the starting lineup, delivers an RBI single up the middle. And Paul Popovich now, still nobody out. Runners first and second. Justy on the ropes early here. And 9 is going to be patient, and that's going to be a walk as well. So the sacks are loaded. And Holtzman, kind of a situation here. Nobody out. Bases loaded. We are not going to try the suicide. We're going to let Kenny swing away. And worst case scenario, hopefully, is he strikes out and doesn't hit into a double play. 6 is going to be tough, and it's exactly what he's going to do. Swing and a miss. So a big out there, but that's only 1 down. Back to the top of the order, Don Kessinger. Double play now would serve Justy well and save a potential disastrous inning here. And a pitch to Kessinger, and 10 is going to be in play. And 10 on Kessinger's card, and he's going to drive that into the outfield as well for a single. And on the fast action card, sharp liner drops in front of left field. The runner on first advances 1, runner on second 1. So station to station we go. Spanky Spangler comes in to score. Everybody else moves up a station, and Kessinger has an RBI single. 2-0 Cubs, and Glenn Becker steps into the box. And Bex stares down Justy. Here comes a pitch. And that's going to be patient, and 36. And another single. So Becker off the fast action card. This is a hard grounder into left field. Runner on first advances 2 base. Runner on second scores. So a 2 RBI single coming across the plate is Don Young and Paul Popovich. Over to third goes Kessinger and Becker. A 2-run single, and the Cubbies now 4-0. And sweet swinging Billy Williams up, only 1 down, still runners at the corners. And in the Cardinals bullpen, there's going to be some activity already. And Ray Washburn is going to get up and start loosening up here. As Justy in a world of trouble, still only 1 out. Pitch to Williams. And 7's going to be in play, 41. Williams can't get that in range, though, and that's going to be a ground ball down to first base. 7 is outside of Williams' double play and inside of Justy. So again, we go to the 2-10. 45 or less for the double play, otherwise fielder's choice, and that will be a fielder's choice. So coming in to score on that is Kessinger. And Becker, 5-4, erased at second base. Fielder's choice and an RBI for Williams, and it is now 5-0 Cubbies. Ernie Banks up. 2 down, runner on first. Ernie salivating, wants to crack at Justy here early. Here comes a pitch, and 9, that's going to be a patient, and Ernie, a big swing, but that's going to be a harmless fly ball to left field. So the Cubbies, though, are retired, but they bat around in this inning, sending 9 men to the plate. They score 5 runs. And those 5 runs come on only 4 hits, a couple of walks. So a very efficient inning for the Cubs, and we head to the top of the 3rd inning, and our score is 5-0. And leading it off for the Cards will be Justy. And they are not going to yank him this early. He's going to have to take his lumps. And 10 is going to be an in play. 82 will be a ground ball down to shortstop. Kessinger up with it. Over to first base. 1 down. Back to the top of the order. And Lightning Lou Brock steps in, the all-time base-stealing king up until Ricky Henderson took that honor from him. And 7 will be in play, and Brock's got a hold of that one. That's going to be a sharp single. So normally with a 5-run deficit, you would not see people trying to run, but this is Lou Brock up here. 6 or less, he's going. He does not this time. Julian Javier now up. One down. Here comes the pitch from Holtzman, and that's going to be a defensive check. The roll is 14, so this will probably be bad. And the defensive check there is going to be an error, third base. Popovich down at third is a 1. So you can see that's pretty much as bad as it gets. That is going to be an E5. And the error on that for the infield. And that is going to be a single +1. So credit for the single. Brock is going to go to third. So we'll say an infield single and a bad throw in the dirt gets away. So the Cardinals now looking to climb back into this. Runners on second and third, only one down. Holtzman, he needs to come up big here. Pitch to Curt Flood, and 6 is a tough, and 35 against the lefty. And Flood delivers big time. A single there. Opposite field liner into right field. Runner on first advances 1. Runner on second advances 1. So Lou Brock is going to come home to score on the RBI single. Over to third goes Javier. And Curt Flood has got the Cardinals on the board here with a 1-out RBI single. Runners at the corners for Joe Torre. And Captain Joe, 4 is tough, and 15 struck him out. So Kenny rings him up. Out number 2, and that is a huge strikeout for the Cubbies. That brings up third sacker Mike Shannon. Shannon struck out back in the second inning. Holtzman would like a repeat. Here comes the pitch. And 5 is patient. 62 is going to be out of range, though, and that's a fly out to right field. So while the Cardinals actually out hitting the Cubs 6-5, but the Cubs have been more efficient. The Cardinals get 3 hits in this inning, leave 2 on, get 1 across. We head to the bottom of the third inning. It is 5-1 Cubbies. And Holtzman breathes a sigh of relief there as Randy Hundley, he led off the last inning. He steps in again. Justy with a very short leash out on the mound. Here comes the pitch. Tough, and that's going to be a fly out to right field. 1 down for Hundley. He fought off a tough pitch last at bat. Cannot do the same here. Now Spanky Spangler up. And 6 is going to be tough. 23, and Spangler. He fights off a tough pitch for a single. Second time he's been on base. He walked in his first at bat. So Justy can get no breaks on the mound for the Cards. Party foul with the dice. Spangler, he'll try and run on a roll of 3 or less. Thank God he did not get that. He's an F stealing bases. Molasses would run to second base faster than him. Here comes a pitch, and that's going to be tough. And that's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop, and 6 is outside Young's double play rating. Inside of Justy, so we go to the 2-10, and again a fielder's choice. So Spangler erased at second base. 2 down now. Young on at first. And Young's going to get a lead. He is not going to steal. Brings up Paul Popovich. And Pop walked and scored back in the second inning. Here comes a pitch from Justy, and 10. That'll be an in-play, 46. Ground ball down to third base. And up with that is Shannon. Whips it over to Torre. And the Cubbies get a hit, but they can do no more damage here in the third. And we're heading to the top of the fourth inning, 5-1 Cubs. Kenny Holtzman back out on the mound. And Tim McCarver. Favorite flavor of Gatorade is cherry, if you're keeping track. 11, that's a ballpark result. And against the lefty, 51 is wheelhouse. So McCarver needs an 8 or less to take him deep, and he does. Over the right field wall, Tim McCarver. He caught that perfectly and gave it a ride. Has a smirk for the announcer's booth. He apparently does not appreciate the Gatorade references. nor does he send Deion Sanders Christmas cards, so he's got the Cardinals on the board again. It's 5-2 now. Vada Pinson steps in. Holtzman trying to shake that off, and 5 is patient, and that's going to be a fly out to center field, 1 down. Shortstop Dal Maxwell digs in. Holtzman the pitch, and that's tough. 23 struck him out. Swing and a miss. So Holtzman says you cannot touch this, and he's back to the dugout, 2 down, and Justy leading 5 or trailing 5-2 now. I'm going to give him 1 more at bat. Probably will be the last one if the Cardinals do not make a run. And 11, it's going to be ballpark, and that's wheelhouse. And Justy, he is a 9, so a roll of 25 or less, he's going to get on base. And Justy helping his own cause there with a single. So 2 down, runner on first base, and Holtzman, this is definitely not his best outing of the year thus far. He's just been able to avoid allowing this damage to happen in groups. 9 will be patient, 89 will be out of range, and that's going to end the inning. Ground ball down to second base, and taken care of there by Beckert. So the dangerous Lou Brock is retired, but the Cardinals, they chip away. 1 more run on a couple of hits. One of the hits, a solo shot by Tim McCarver. And we're heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. Holtzman will lead it off. Your score, Chicago 5, St. Louis 2. Dave Justy, the pitch, and that's going to be tough, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Holtzman has looked absolutely lost up there twice against Justy, flailing away. Down on 3 straight strikes this time. Top of the order, Don Kessinger up. 7 is going to be in play, and Kessinger keeps it rolling. He ropes that into the gap, and that's going to fall into left center field. And he chugs around, head first slide in ahead of the throw. So Kessinger a 1-out double. And Washburn is ready in the St. Louis bullpen if needed here. So Glenn Beckert up now. 1 down, runner in scoring position, and 4 from Justy's going to be in play, and the Cubs are raking him now. That's a single. And fast action card, line drive into left field, runner on second base advances 1. So we have runners in the corner pockets now. 1 down, and sweet swinging Billy Williams, a chance to really bust this open. And if Justy cannot retire him, he will be done for the evening. Here comes a pitch. 9 is patient, and 18, he's going to load him up again. So 1 down, sacks are loaded, and Justy's evening is over. He just did not have it tonight. He's going to end up going only 3 1/3 innings. They were hoping they could get a couple more out of him. Was not to be. He gave up 8 hits in that short time. Walked 3 and struck out 1. Or sorry, struck out 2. Struck out Holtzman twice. Only redeeming factor is he did not give up a ballpark shot. So Justy to the dugout and Ray Washburn in. And they're going to need him to eat some innings here. Washburn, he was a starter and reliever in 1969, 3-8 record on the year, 3.06 ERA. And he's going to be tasked with getting the Cardinals out of this inning without any further damage, and that's a tall order. Because at the plate is Mr. Cubby Ernie Banks, who I had the privilege to meet when I worked for Orkin back in the 80s in California. Worked for, I believe it was Allied or Atlas Fan Lines as a PR guy. I've mentioned that before in my other videos, but super cool guy. Got to do a lot of golfing in that position, which I guess is a perk when you're Mr. Cub. Bases loaded, 1 down. Pitch from Washburn is tough, and 49. And Ernie Banks, he's not going to let that get him. That's a single to the fast action card, and that is blooped into right field. Runner on first advances 1, runner on second advances 1. So Cubbies still playing station to station here. But that's going to get Kessinger across the plate. Moving to third is Beckert, and Williams to second. Ernie Banks for the RBI single. And that makes the score 6-2 now. And Randy Hundley, who has started the year as hot as any of the Cubs, leading the team in home runs. And he only had 18, but he's got 4 in the replay already. And pitch from Washburn is ballpark and on cue, but that's going to be an in-play result. Didn't get the wheelhouse. So Hundley, 14, he comes through with another single. And fast action card there. That's a line drive into center field. The runner on first advances 2, runner on second scores. So that is going to be a 2 RBI single. Over to third goes Ernie Banks. And the Cubbies pouring it on now. It is 8-2, and this one is becoming a laugher, folks. Al Spanky Spangler up. Doesn't want this to end. And 6, that's going to be an in play, and Spangler, 47, will be a ground ball down to third base. Roll of 6, that's above his double play rating. So again, we go to the 2-10, and they're going to get that turn. That's going to be a double play. So the twin killing alleviates further damage there. But the Cubbies still play 3 more runs on a total of 4 hits. Leave a couple left. And we're heading to the top of the 5th inning. This one is out of hand early. It's the Cubs 8, Cardinals 2. And Ken Holtzman now with some breathing room. Let's see if he goes after the Cardinals here. So it's dancing around. Julian Javier up. And 8's going to be tough. And 49 against the lefty. And just out of range there. It's going to be a ground ball down to third base. And that's going to be a nice play by Popovich. Over to first, 1 down. Kurt Show Me the Money Flood steps in. The original free agent. And the pitch from Holtzman, 9. That's going to be patient. 36 against the lefty. And Flood draws a base on balls. Says show me the money, and Holtzman shows him the way to first instead on the free pass. He's going to look for the lead, and not going to try it with a deficit of 6 runs. So in play, and 51, that is going to be a ground ball down to third base, and 7 outside of Torres and under Holtzman. So again, we go to the 2-10, 45 or less, and right on the money, 5-4-3 double play. So Joe Torre quickly does his best to extinguish any hope the Cardinals had of chipping away a little bit in that inning. We're heading to the bottom of the 5th inning, and it is 8-2. Cubbies still lead comfortably. And center fielder Don Young leads it off here. And 8's going to be in play, and the hits just keep on coming, folks. Young with a single. And that is his 2nd hit of the ball game. And the Cubbies feeling a little frisky. He's going to try and get a lead, and again, his feet are made of lead, so luckily he did not. Paul Popovich up, 1 down. And 8's going to be in play, but 84 will be a ground ball down to shortstop. And that's going to be a tweener again. So shortstop, 45 or less for the double play. And they get a turn right on 45 as well. 6-4-3. So 2 outs now, and that brings up the pitcher, Holtzman. Washburn, happy he has 2 outs facing Holtzman. And 7 is going to be patient. Probably not happy there that Holtzman is going to draw a walk. Nothing worse than walking your counterpart, and that's top of the order, 2 down. Holtzman has no interest in stealing. He just wants his cool Cubs jacket to keep his arm warm in this early April game. Washburn, the delivery to Kessinger, and 6 will be in play. That's going to be a ground ball down to short, and Maxwell takes care of that. So 6-3 on the putout. Cubbies get a hit and a walk, leave a couple, can't score anymore. We're through 5. It's 8-2 Chicago. And the fans here are rollicking. It's relaxed, no stress in the air. Everybody's chugging down Budweiser, including Harry Carey up in the booth. Here comes the pitch. That's tough from Holtzman. And Shannon, swing and a miss. Sit him down. Strikeout. So with a big 6-run lead, Holtzman cutting loose on the mound. That was a wicked high fastball. Tim McCarver up. First pitch brushes him back a little bit. Don't take me deep. Here comes a second. Patient, 84, is going to be out of range. It's a ground ball down to second base. Becker takes care of that. McCarver glowers at Holtzman as he goes back to the dugout. Holtzman says something about what his favorite flavor of Gatorade is. McCarver's had enough of that. No more Gatorade jokes this game. 80 is ballpark. That's going to be in play. And Pinson, it's going to be 30 or less for a base hit, and not going to happen. That's a fly out to center field, so 3 up, 3 down. And that has been a rare occurrence in this game. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Your score, Chicago 8, Cardinals 2. And Beckert leads it off for the Cubbies here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 10 is going to be tough, and 86 will be a ground ball down to shortstop. Maxville, throw over to Torrey, 1 down. Sweet swinging Billy Williams up. And first time Billy Williams has been up since the 1st inning. He hasn't seen a lot of juiced bases in front of him. And 8's going to be in play, 37. Just misses that. It's going to be a 1 hopper back to Washburn. Takes care of it over to Torrey, 2 down. Ernie Banks, Mr. Cubby up. Here comes a pitch. 11 is defensive check, and that's going to be something bad. A roll of 1. So defense is going to be an error on second base or third base, and it doesn't even matter. One's going to be an error regardless. So Shannon, the error on that infield is going to be a 1 base, so he boots that. E5. E5, and Banks is on for the second time today. Had an RBI single his last time up, and that brings up Randy Hundley. Hundley, 2 for 3, has scored a run driven into. Here comes a pitch. And 4, that's going to be tough. 15, and Hundley set down on strikes. Swing and a miss. So Cubbies, this is the first inning in the entire game they have not gotten a hit. They did get a base runner on an error, but he is stranded, and we are through 6. It's 8-2 Chicago. And due up, the pitcher spot will be up second, so up in the bullpen for the Cards will be Chuck Taylor. He have a nice fastball and some pretty cool shoes. He will warm up as Dal Maxville leads it off for the Cards. And pitch from Holtzman is Patient, 18. That's going to be a walk. So Cardinals get a base runner, and they're going to need a pinch hitter here, as Washburn is done. So Washburn comes in. He goes 2 2/3 innings, and he gives up 3 hits. Is not charged with a run, but he certainly did not help Justy's ERA, giving up some hits that led to them scoring some runs. And he walked 1 and struck out 1. So his evening is done. Chuck Taylor will be the Cardinals pitcher next inning. And limbering up over in the dugout to face the left-hander and what a terrible bench you have, St. Louis. It's going to be Byron Brown. Brown hit 286 against lefties, and he's the best option there. So he will pinch hit. And 7 and a D. And we are set to go now. Brown drops the donut off his bat, steps in, Holtzman the pitch. Tough, and that's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop. And the roll of 6, that's within double play rating of both Brown and Holtzman. So 6-4-3. And the leadoff walk is wasted. Back to the top of the order for Lou Brock. And Sweet Lou steps in. Brock today is 1 for 3. He scored a run. Here comes a pitch from Holtzman. And in play, 20. That's going to be a single. So Brock is on again, and he might be the only human in the free world that gets a green light to run. What am I doing? Gets a green light to run with a 6-run deficit, and he is going. So he is a B, and again, behind the plate, Hundley, he has a 2 arm. So 2B, he needs a roll of 43 to 99 to be safe. There he goes, the throw, and he's in there easily. The stolen base by Brocky. So with 2 outs, the Cardinals looking to scratch and claw and get back in this, have a runner in scoring position for Julian Javier. The pitch, and tough, that's going to be a fly out to left field, and Holtzman. No harm, no foul. Cardinals get a hit, leave 1, no runs. We're heading to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch time. Your score is Cubs 8, Cardinals 2. And Harry Carey up in the booth is happy, says, "Let me hear you, Cubs fans." And you know what comes next as Al Spangler leads off the 7th for the Cubbies. 4 is going to be tough, and Spanky swing and a miss and tipped it, but hung on to by the catcher. Spangler, one of the tougher Cubs to strike out, but he goes down on a good fastball from Chuck Taylor there. Center fielder Don Young up. Here comes a pitch from Taylor. That's going to be in play, and that'll be a single. So Young coming back after a day of rest, and that is his 3rd hit of the afternoon. Brings up Paul Popovich. Popovich has walked and scored, grounded out twice, one of which turned into a double play. And 6 will be in play, 41. Out of range, and that's going to be a ground ball down to 3rd base. And 6, we're going to go to the 2-10 again, 45 or less to double play. And they turn it again, so Popovich, 5-4-3 this time. And he might not get to bat anymore with runners on base. The Cubbies get a base hit, leave nobody. As a double play ends the inning, and we're heading to the top of the 8th inning. It remains 8-2 Cubs. And Holtzman seems to have settled in. Kurt Flood leads it off for the Cardinals. And 5, patient. Flood's going to draw base on balls there. That's the 2nd consecutive time he's walked. So he trots down to 1st, and Big Joe Torre steps in. Torre. And a pitch is going to be in play. 66 on the roll, ground ball to 2nd base, and 7. So again, we go to the 2-10, and that's just going to be a fielder's choice. They can't turn that. So Flood is erased. Joe Torre down at 1st base now with 1 down, and Mike Shannon up. Not related to Del Shannon. 2 will be an in play, 41. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the pitcher, and a 2. They're going to turn that one easily. So 1-6-3 double play. Nicely done by the Cubbies. We're heading to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's still 8-2, and Holtzman looks like he has found his groove. They're going to leave him in to hit. In the bottom of the 9th, Chuck Taylor still on the mound for the Cards. Here comes the pitch, ballpark. And 42 against the righty is going to be Wheelhouse. Holtzman. And Holtzman is a 6, so 31. He could take one deep here. He swings and no. Gets his pitch and grounds it harmlessly to 2nd base. And he's going to get some stick for that when he goes back to the dugout. Nice fat fastball, and he hits a candy hopper down to Javier for the easy out. One down. Top of the order now. Don Kessinger up. Pitch to Kessinger's tough. 39. And Kessinger fights it off in singles. So this Cubby attack is relentless today. Gene Mauch is going to be nice and not call for a steal. As Becker steps in, one down, pitch. And that's going to be in play. 68 will be a fly out to center, two down. And sweet swinging Billy Williams up. Williams today, he has doubled, walked, and drove in a run on a fielder's choice. Also scored a run. Two down, run on first. Here comes a pitch. 5 is tough. And 46 for Williams. Williams just misses a hit on that. Instead, it's a pop out to shortstop. And the 8th inning is over. The Cubbies get a hit, strand a runner. And Cubbies have gotten at least one hit in every inning of this game thus far, but the 6th. The lumber is out, and it is hot today on this sunny, cool April afternoon. Holtzman trying to close this out now. Starts with Tim McCarver, who homered off him earlier in the game. And ballpark 18, Wheelhouse. Can he do it again? The weak hitting Tim McCarver, 45. He cannot. Fly out to left this time. Comes up just a bit short. So one down. Veda Pinson steps in. Holtzman looking to close it out in style. 6, tough. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. So Kenny with a big K there. 2 down, and Dal Maxville followed by the pitcher spot if he gets on base. Holtzman wants to just wrap it up here though. Patient, and 39 to Maxville. Against the lefty, that is going to be a base on balls. That's the second time he has walked today. So that means we're going to get another pinch hitter. And going down their bench, it looks like that pinch hitter is going to be... They're atrocious against left-handed pitching. It's going to be Phil Galliano. He's about as good as they got, and he at 186 against lefties in 1969. So, Galliano, last chance for the Cards. Holtzman confidently stares him down. Here comes a pitch, and 7 is in play. That's going to do it, folks. A fly out to right field. This one is over. The Cardinals get a base runner, but they cannot put anyone across in the 9th. And the Cubbies, 2 big innings, 2nd and the 4th. They batter Justy and Washburn, and that will be the game. Your final score from Chicago is Cubbies 8, Cardinals 2. And let's add up our numbers here. Okay, for the Cardinals, they get 2 runs on 9 hits, but only one of those hits came after the 4th inning, so Holtzman got into beast mode after the 4th when McCarver homered off him. Shut things down the rest of the way after that. Cubbies, a different story. They had their way. 8 runs, and that's on 6, 10, 13 hits. They got a hit in every single inning but one. And player of the game for this one. Many choices for the Cubbies. And it looks like we are going to go with... We'll go with Don Kessinger. Kessinger, 3 for 5 on the day. He scored 2 runs, had a single, or 2 singles and a double, also drove in a run. So Kessinger gets the POG. There are a couple other good candidates as well. Glenn Beckert had a 2 for 5 day with a couple of ribbies. And Randy Hundley, he was 2 for 4 with a couple of ribbies and a run scored, but we'll give it to Kessinger. So from Wrigley Field, that is it. Again, your final, Chicago 8, Cardinals 2, and Cubbies have jumped ahead of their pace in real life now, moving to 12-4 on the year. They were 11-5 in real life after this one. So until next time, keep rolling for the fences, and up next we'll be back to the 1922 St. Louis Browns Time Machine Strat project. So keep a lookout for that one, and take care. Have a good night all.